pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, item 2.03, motion and second, please, to adopt this evening's agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Gogler, second by Mr. Raber. Questions, additions, discussions, deletions on this evening's agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. 3.01, Mr. Bigger, Superintendent's Report.
Thanks, Mr. Norcross. I'd like to start off with the state budget. We'd like to have one. We haven't had any talk about one, and it's wearing on everybody. So I do want to continue to push and ask everybody to push anybody that you can legislatively to get talks going and get a state budget. It is certainly impacting our overall financial dollars and adding due stress to the system that is not needed. At this time, Tammy will go over a few numbers on how far we can go without a state budget before we might have to do something.
Thank you, Mr. Bigger. Yes, so right now we are in fairly good, as from a cash basis standpoint, as a lot of the real estate taxes have come in. But looking year over year, if you look at the treasurer's report at the end of August, we are down almost $20 million in the bank. My major concern right now is the impact to our interest income, as we are losing interest on that money. October is a big month. We have 3 pays in October. Our payrolls are just a little over $3 million each pay. I would anticipate that we can probably be okay through the end of the year, but much longer than that, we'll look at having to go out to borrow money.
Calendar year, not school
Yes,
year.
not the fiscal calendar year. That would be correct.
3 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
Conservatively, yeah.
Thank you. Next topic, the Trojan Walk is coming. I think we have a esteemed board member who has raised a bunch of money, and we're excited about this person, and I think he needs a couple $100 to get to his goal. So we appreciate you representing the board, the school district at the Trojan Walk Thursday this week. We are halfway through the first marking period, so seems like school just started. So everyone, just a reminder that we are halfway through. Keep at it, students and staff. The year is just beginning. We do have a student who will be sitting alongside us in October as our student board representative. Amir Hassan will be joining us from Cassius. This year will be Cassius, next year will be CMS. I met with the young gentleman, wonderful young gentleman. He aspires to be in the medical profession and study political science at the same time. And so I was starting to prep him on your really nice, wonderful questions you'll ask him. And I said, your standard response is if you don't know the answer, you'll get the answer for them. So I'm already prepping him well to be a good student representative. He is really excited. I gave him the option to attend one or both meetings and just come to the Cal. He said, I'm going to do both as long as my schedule allows me. So look forward to seeing Amir here in October. The school district received great news from the PA Department of Agriculture in the cafeterias. There were no violations. So thank you to all the food service and cafeteria staff for passing that test. The last item I have is just more of a statement that we did have an employee click on a phishing email, and as a result of that 24-hour period, a bad actor got control of that individual's email, and as a result, we do have to send notifications out to any potential family, student, or individual that may have had information in there that was insecure, and the actor may have gotten that sensitive information. So out of abundance of caution, in a 24-hour period, we're going to send letters to about 760 people letting them know that their information may have been stolen. We believe that the 24-hour period was a very short window of that bad actor. However, we are required to report to the attorney's office, district attorney, and state attorney's office, and we did all of that. And the issue is resolved on our end, and we've done all the communications. But I wanted to let you know we did have that active. It wasn't near like the last event. This was just one bad click. And what I would say, lesson we learned, delete old emails and look at that email that's being sent to you. One period out of place, one letter out of place. It's easy to miss, and it was that simple. So no intent on the employee, and certainly no consequences to that employee. It was just a mistake, and the bad actors are getting better at what they do. That concludes my report at this time.
May I make one minor correction or addition? Regarding the Trojan Walk, yes, I am the board member participating, but this is not my goal. It is the goal set by Emily Goodine, Dr. Goodine, I believe. And I want to thank all the community who have donated thus far. Of the $5,000 goal, we're only $220 short as of tonight. There's still one more day to be able to donate. As a matter of fact, I just received a donation just a few minutes ago by a gracious member of the community. Thank you very much. And as you may know, these are students, K through 12 special education, that are probably the most challenged and vulnerable students we have. So if you have an opportunity to donate, the minimum is $5. Surely, maybe you could skip your coffee one day and donate $5, but thank you very much for those who have donated.
Thank you, Mr. Haydock, and thank you, Chris, for your report. I have a very short report this evening. I want to recap first from 2 weeks ago. Thank you, Mrs. Stauffer and Mr. Fry's presentation at our COW on the financial end of Schools of Distinction project investment. Tonight we'll hear from Dr. Long with a little bit of an update. And, you know, as we get further down the road, we'll start getting more and more details. And I thank Chris for how he has put this together, that, you know, there is the bricks and mortar side of it, and then there's the financial side of it. And you can't do one without, you know, also talking about the other. So I thank Chris and the team for keeping both in front of us, because it is a large investment for everyone. Okay. I just set you up, Dr. Long, 4.01 facilities update.
I have a partner tonight. I have a partner tonight presenting with me. Mr. Varner is going to present with me concerning the update. I do want to tell you that this project, the presentation was run through an AI generator, and it's changed a little bit since we did it internally, and that program is called Gamma. If you like AI and you want to try something, it's really, really cool. Really cool. So,
We need
There we
AI
go.
to run the remote.
yeah, well, the battery, it was turned off, sorry. So our agenda tonight includes, I want to talk about the meeting structure that we have, Crabtree Rohrball update, RLPS update as well. Both of the architects are on the same schematic design phase of the project. And then Mr. Varner is going to go over the operations study, and then we'll talk about next steps, what we're looking at as we go forward. But the meeting structure is very important for our overall success of our projects. Our stakeholder engagement process brings together diverse expertise to ensure project success through collaborative decision-making. I say all that to tell you that there are different teams, basically, for our meeting structures. The first one is the design team with the architects and the civil engineers. I will tell you that I have learned so much since July 1st, and I know I have an awful lot more to learn. So these guys are really, really intelligent, and they know their business. So I feel very confident that our district's in two very good hands with the engineers and architects. The next one is the district project team. We break that down a little bit. We have our decision-making team, and then we also have other administrators that are supplying some information, and then content specialists to make the directions go forward for this. And then our local authorities. We're getting in with Green Township and also the Borough of Chambersburg, and we're using their expertise and guidance, and also developing the sites and the plans according to what they need to be looked at and used in precision. All in all, we have about approximately 70 meetings that we conducted to date since July 1st. Matt and I meet every day. Melissa, Matt, and I meet every week, and so forth. And we have online meetings, face-to-face meetings, telephone meetings, all kinds of meetings. So.
All right, so last month during the presentation, it was shared with you a fairly detailed sketch plan or site plan of the Green Village property. This plan will continue to evolve as we move forward and get guidance and clarity from PennDOT, from the municipality, and as the civil engineer begins to do his geotechnical investigation. A few key milestones that I would like to highlight. On August 16th, the Traffic Impact Study, or TIS, scoping application was submitted to PennDOT, followed by a scoping meeting that was held on September 10th. From that meeting, we learned that our traffic engineer is required to study 13 intersections, as well as the northbound exit ramp of I-81. Additionally, we learned that PennDOT is piloting a new program aimed to expedite the process and approval of highway occupancy permits, or HOPs. Our project has been recommended for inclusion into this program. While it's encouraging, we are still unclear how much time the new process could save us. And lastly, with the crops being harvested, the civil engineer is beginning to schedule the geotechnical investigation as we continue progressing through the next phase of development.
So this is the Chambersburg Area Intermediate School. What you're looking at is a draft document. I'm going to repeat that so everyone knows. This is a draft document. We've been looking at a 3-story option to gain some site space. So if we go with 3 stories, we will eliminate 100 feet per wing. So that will allow students to be able to get through the building much quicker. Also the administrators to be able to look at different things much quicker in the building as well. I want to repeat, once again, this is not a completed schematic. It is a draft, and we want to make sure that we're doing it right. But during this schematic design, this development continues with the focus on educational functionality, site integration, and creating modern learning environments for the intermediate level. So key design elements that we're looking at include flexible classroom configurations, collaborative learning spaces, and infrastructure to go to the 21st century learning model. This schematic is pretty complete. So this is a live schematic. So this is on the Green Village Elementary School. The schematic that we're looking at has taken about 2 months to complete. We have a young architect who's really looking at space saving and doing some different things, and this is about the 3rd iteration of this design that really looks good as far as spacing and things like that. But if you're looking at elementary school designs, and this is what our focus was here, was age-appropriate learning environments that contain safe and nurturing spaces that allow child development, but also community involvement. So I'd like to look at this design for a couple minutes. If you look at the oval that is purple, that is outside learning space. But in that square right above it, that's the media center. And then that's the long T hallway that's up from the media center that goes from the administration office, counseling office, nurse's office to the right. Then that small space next to it is a stage that's off of the gymnasium. Our current designs have that stage at the end of that rectangle, not at the side of the rectangle.
This was shown to our phys ed teacher, that's the content specialist, and she just absolutely loved it because she said, you can get more people in the widthwise instead of everybody going back. And I didn't even think about that when we were talking about the design, that you don't have someone way in the back, you have people that are out farther in a wing, so to speak. Then you have your cafeteria on towards the left, and then your kitchen and things as well. So that community segment is right there above the big, with the large boxes, and then the educational are on your educational wings. I will say that the light blue are the classrooms, and you will see there's 5 classrooms per grade level. The light green are special ed, and then the other spaces are art, music, small group instruction, Title I, and things like that. Moving to RLPS, once again, they're in a different segment, and when you see the timeline, you'll see they're a little bit off from Crabtree Rohrbach. But a visual activity, and if you remember, Crabtree did a visual activity with students earlier on. RLPS did one with our principals of the middle schools, and that was to determine some learning spaces that they wanted to design. Using pictures, once again, that visual, they bring in pictures, they show them pictures from all kinds of different schools that not only they design, but other architects design, and give them an idea of the space that they can use outside of the classroom for optimal learning. And once again, just like the 4 to 6 intermediate school, we're looking at a 3-story design. And then also, Mr. Varner, in a couple of slides here, is going to give a civil engineering update. So if you remember these 5 pictures, these are iterations that are showcased, evolved from initial concepts to refined solutions. And if you see the screen, we had 2 check marks there that we selected C and D for possible sites on the property. I will tell you that as we went through some civil engineering and architect discussions, some of these are not going to work because of the placement of different things. So we'll look at a newer drawing, and there's northeast, which is up towards the businesses. On the right-hand side of each one of those is 81. The left side of the red line is the Stauffer Avenue, and then the bottom is McKinley. So the top one is northeast, where the classrooms are the 2 little legs that stick up there towards there. And then the park side, which is closer to McKinley. And then all we asked for was a rotation of the park side on the right side bottom. We also did try to get a building up there where the softball field is next to McKinley Street, but that was eliminated due to stormwater runoff and also utilities. They are the entrance and exits for those. So that is out of question right now. So we will be looking at different things from the civil engineer and the architects soon here, and that we'll be able to narrow down to 1 or 2 places and get back with you next month.
So yeah, as Mark just mentioned, we're evaluating several potential locations at the CAM South site for the new building while keeping the existing building operational. As many of you are aware, we hired HRG as our civil engineering partner to work alongside RLPS to help us identify the ideal location. In August, HRG began surveying and base mapping. In September, they moved into geotechnical field exploration. On September 17th, engineers began digging test pits to perform soil studies and infiltration testing. Those sites are actually shown on that site plan on the slide. As you can see, DEP required a total of 20 test sites, many of which were 3 feet long by 10 feet, or 3 feet wide by 10 feet long, various depths up to 9 feet. It had a pretty significant impact onto the site. And in order to preserve the athletic fields as well as gym spaces along the right-hand side of that plot plan, we proposed a less invasive testing method, which DEP approved, and so they have a driller on site, and they actually started today doing borehole testing for that area, and that is scheduled to go approximately 3 to 4 days.
So this is a timeline for Crabtree Rohrball is at the top, and then RLPS is at the bottom. The timelines are pretty close. If you look at schematic, October will be the end for Crabtree, and November will be the end for RLPS. And then if you look at the bidding and negotiation, Crabtree will be finished in October, ready to bid, and then RLPS in November. We want to make sure that we want to bid these separately in order to supply the contractors a better idea of what they're doing and what they're getting into. And then construction is still ready to go for May 2029 to finish, so we can have a wonderful start for the children.
Yeah, and just to take a quick moment to update you on the operations study. The operations study is aimed at gaining efficiencies through consolidation. While this has taken somewhat of a backseat to the building design process, it is still moving forward. Several weeks ago, we brought on board a food service consultant to gather information and provide recommendations. Existing facilities have been surveyed to better understand how the space is currently being used. And then, we are also beginning to analyze our existing staff levels, our vehicle fleets, our equipment needs. The next phase of the study will be really for each group to dig in and kind of do, for lack of a better term, an internal gut check of their actual needs and not what they currently have. We want to create something that we need, not just recreate what we currently have set up. Also, we are going to begin to identify logical locations for potential consolidation, and we look forward to bringing some options to you in the near future.
And then our next steps, we want to make sure that we update you next month on the project timeline. And then the borough meeting, we're trying to get a borough meeting by next month in order to be able to talk with Mr. Wohlgemuth and some others at the borough. They have engineers and things like that they want to bring in about the site at the middle school. And then we'll naturally give you the updates on the design concepts and then also the civil engineering. Any questions?
Board members, questions? All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good work.
Item 5.01, privilege of the floor. We have one member of the audience who's signed in. Comment on agenda items. Valerie Jordan, budget and bill list.
Mrs. Stauffer, I'm with you on that. I'm very concerned because my husband and I are senior citizens. And if you're getting my emails, you know I'm emailing the state. Today I called Eric Nelson's office. I spoke to his aide. She kind of put me off, but I told her how it is. The senators will not pass the budget, and the majority of the senators are Republicans. For the benefit of every CASD taxpayer in this room tonight, I would like the administration, to best of its ability, to calculate the loss of interest income on $74.5 million, which is a portion of the state budget dealing with state revenue to the district. Why? Because state lawmakers haven't passed the state budget yet. I kindly ask you to place this loss in interest income on a future board agenda, to the best of your knowledge. I'm losing money. I also bring up my school tax bill again. It is $4,091.59. I then go to the bill list you approved tonight. I'll be doing this exercise until the first shovel goes into the ground for the new school and renovations to the other schools. A large number of vendors are being paid a whole lot more than Mrs. Jordan's school tax bill, rounded off to the nearest dollar. Penna Cyber Charter School, $28,000. Borough of Chambersburg, which shocked me, $105,700. So that means I'm being nice to the borough too. And I don't mind because we're being nice to them in Guilford. Amazon Capital Service, $8,900. Fayetteville Contractors, $7,300. Lowe's, $4,700. ODP Business Solutions, $22,000. Shalom Christian Academy, $72,000. Cumberland Valley Christian School, $39,000. Franklin County Career and Technology, $103,700. River Rock Academy, $210, $210,000. That's just a small list of vendors you will approve, but I hope I made an impression upon you. And I email all over the state. I know people all over this state. And I've gotten to blind copy people all over the state. And I've met them through Facebook. And I'll continue to send you emails. Because I'm an elderly woman and I want my money and my husband needs his money. We are paying estimated taxes and to the tune of $3,000. I misquoted last time. I want my money and everybody in this room deserves their money too.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Jordan. And I didn't mention this earlier, but even if you didn't sign up to speak, you're also allowed to speak. So are there any other members of the audience who would like to address an agenda item in privilege of the floor? Okay. The other item I missed way back earlier was item 1.01. I always do that after the pledge and a moment of silence, and I forgot it, that the board did meet in an executive session prior to this evening's meeting to discuss personnel matters. So I'm about 25 minutes late on that part of the agenda tonight. Okay, items 7.01 through 7.10, which all get approved on 7.11. These are new agenda items, consent agenda items, items that were not discussed 2 weeks ago at committee of the whole meeting. So with that, same procedure. Admin, Mr. Bigger and any of your team, are there any of those items you wanted to elaborate on for the board?
I don't think we have anything that stands out that's not ordinary.
Okay. Board members, are there any of those items that you would like to ask questions on or have a different, maybe a discussion or debate on? If so, we need to pull them off of this before we vote on them.
Not discussion, but just congratulations for the 10-year achievements that are listed.
Okay.
Quite a few people have met that requirement.
I have a lot of signing to do here tonight, Mrs. Stauffer advised me. Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion and second, please, to approve items 7.01 through 7.11?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Diller, second by Mrs. Gauss. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, so move. Items 8.01 through 8.08, these are consent agenda items also that we did discuss 2 weeks ago. Mr. Bigger and your team, anything else to add in addition from 2 weeks ago?
No updates at this time. Thank you for asking.
Board members, any items you would like to pull out to discuss or vote on individually? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion and second to approve items 8.01 through 8.08?
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. McKee, second by Mr. Haydick. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and so moved. 10.01, Solar Energy Systems, Fayetteville Elementary and Scotland Elementary. Mrs. Stauffer, Mr. Varner.
The board should be familiar with this. This is due with the school, or the Solar for Schools grant. We are asking the board to approve this contract for the solar energy systems that will go into Fayetteville Elementary and the Scotland Elementary.
And Mr. Varner reported on this 2 weeks ago at Committee of the Whole, but are there any other questions? Well, no, if there aren't any, we'll wait for a motion and second before I ask that question.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Diller, second by Mr. Raber. Questions or discussions?
I think it's just worth pointing
Yes,
out for
sir.
the public, $3.8 million net savings over the life of this. It's pretty exciting for the district. So thank you, Mr. Varner, for your work.
Others, questions, comments, discussions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. 10.02, gifts, grants, and donations. Motion and second, please.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Mrs. Gogler, second by Ms. Harbaugh. Questions, discussions, comments on accepting free stuff?
$37,000. It's pretty cool.
Someone told me if they're gonna give it to you for nothing, take it. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and so moved. Policy and legislation, item 11.01, election of officers. Mrs. Stauffer, is that, or we're just?
Do two things at one
I'm sorry,
time.
I'll
That's
slow
okay.
down. I'll take a drink of water
Yeah,
and
take
slow
a
down
drink.
here.
Oh, yeah, this is for the PSBA individuals. You just basically have to do a motion to approve and.
Okay, do we have a motion and second to approve?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McKee, second by Dr. Diller. Everyone read the biography of these board of directors, right? Or officers.
Full thing.
I do have a question, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I noticed, if I'm not mistaken, there's like one candidate per office, and is that how they normally work out?
To my knowledge, yes. I don't think there's ever been more than one.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you.
It's like on election day, and, you know, those are, I call them on the undercard, right? Vote for no more than 3, and there's only 3 to vote for to start with. Yeah.
I think we should really plan on whoever wins the Trojan Walk should also be on the ballot next year.
A goal. You have to have a goal, right? There you go. All right, we have a motion and second. Any other questions, discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. These next will slow me down a little bit. Item 11.02, policies with no changes. We have one, policy 211, student accident insurance. Motion and second, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Diller, second by Mrs. Gogler. Questions or discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and so moved. 11.03, first reading of policies. We'll do these all in one group. Policy 100, comprehensive planning. Policy 118, independent study. Policy 142, migrant students. Policy 216, student records. Policy 219, student complaint process. And that's the last one in that group. Motion and second for approving the aforementioned policies for under first reading.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Haydick, second by Mrs. Gauss. Questions, comments, or discussions? Just make a real generic comment with these. This will be a regularly reoccurring event because there's I don't know, 1,000 some policies. And fortunately, PSBA does a good job of just giving us the guidelines on what needs to be updated and not. Okay. No other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and so moved. 11.04, second reading of policies. Policy 112, school counseling. Policy 119, current events. Policy 140, charter schools. Policy 626.1, travel reimbursement, federal programs. Policy 827, conflict of interest. Motion and second to approve those policies on a second read.
Move to approve.
Second.
Oh, Liz, go ahead. You didn't have your name called yet.
Second.
All right. Motion by Mr. McKee, second by Mr. Walker, with an assist from Mrs. Harbaugh. Questions or discussions?
Can we put the assist in the minutes too?
Absolutely.
Pretty important.
Yeah, I have a quick question. If I recall, maybe last meeting or maybe the meeting before, there was Mr. Bigger suggested that we would not be paying our charter school bills until we got our budget. And for some reason, I thought I read something recently that said we were not permitted to do that. And
Not to my knowledge. I mean, the charter schools right now, under the school code, have the ability, if a district does not pay them, they can go to the state and request payment to be held from our subsidy. Of course, the state's not giving us any subsidy right now, so there's really not anything to get any, to go forward. So no, there's not anything that I know of.
thank you, that's good news.
Yeah.
10% of zero is still zero. All right. Good question, thank you. Any other questions or discussions on the policies for second read? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and so move. Item 12, new business. Board members, new business, maybe for future discussion agenda topics. Open it up to the board members. We're cooking with gas. Football game was last night. Next meeting, we'll have World Series games to get to or something.
That's
I don't
right.
know.
Sorry, I hate to spoil your expectation.
I thought if I talked long enough, somebody would jump in. Yes, sir.
I would just like to, the board to consider and the superintendent consider, we do have a electronic device policy. And I've read it thoroughly, and I was wondering if perhaps in the next maybe year, we should revisit that policy and see if we might make it a little more stricter in some way. Because I think that anybody that's doing any serious reading about the use of cell phones in schools recognize that it's a distraction from learning. And I think there are entirely too many distractions as there is already. So I just throw that out there for discussion or consideration.
Other board members?
I would like to agree with you as well, that we should put that on an upcoming agenda for discussion. And one other question, when is the student achievement?
Wait a minute, we'll get there in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So, a thought I have on that, I think it's a great topic, and I don't know, Mr. Bigger, get your thought, but off the cuff here, we did change policy on this, or maybe started enforcing it a little differently, maybe more so than saying changed it in the past year and a half or so, beginning of last school year. So I don't know, maybe it would be worth a discussion or a presentation at a committee of whole, where we were and kind of results we've seen or what we've learned since we changed the rules of engagement. Just a thought to maybe, one is a bit of a history lesson. You've all heard me say it, Dad was a history teacher, love you, Dad. so I like history. But, Mr. Whitman, you have a mic in front of you here. You ready to, or no? I thought you were getting ready to speak. Oh, okay. But I don't know, that's just a thought. I don't know what your thoughts are,
Well,
Mr. Baker.
So far, 3 of you have said something, so a few more acknowledge that you want to do that. Then we'll see where it would be in the review process. If this would be up within the next year, logically, and if it happens, great. If not, then we would move it in front of other policies. So I'd have to go do a little digging on when it's scheduled to come back up. Now that we're on a 10-year cycle, making sure no policy gets over the 10 years, we'll see when the last time we updated it. So I need a few more thumbs up on the requests. So I heard from 3, got 4
Well,
or 5.
Yeah, it'd be great just to get even if it's just a few minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to
Before
be long, but I'd like an update.
Before we dive into policy, I mean, maybe just a bit of a overview
Sure.
for everyone. And then from that, it'll probably, my guess with the board, it'll then probably spark some other very good discussions and
Right.
debate. Like I said, lessons learned. You know, what have we learned in the past year and 1 month?
Yeah.
of-
There's also a lot of literature out there now that's out there, research on cell phone usage. And I think that you don't want to change it on kids midstream, but, if we start discussing it now, if we want to make changes, then, we have time to get that in place. But I think a review of the literature right now would be also very helpful.
And it's probably, I'm assuming, I could be wrong on this, with all of the AI technology, there's probably gonna be more usage of devices than less. I don't know what that would do. Is that, are we looking at, would that be a negative, or is that a, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
Dr. Dillo, you had an item.
Yes, as far as student achievement, PSSA scores and all that, when will that presentation be occurring?
Right now, we're slated for the second meeting in October. E-metric, Pennsylvania should be releasing our final scores by building and by district. September 27th is the date. Now, pending that, in the past, sometimes they told us that it's September 27th, but sometimes they delay it. So hopefully they're not. But if they release it on September 27th, my team will be ready to present at the second meeting in October.
Perfect, thank
Yep.
you.
Other potential new business topics, discussions.
There's been, in the past, some comments about presenting a portrait of a graduate as far as what graduates are going to have whenever they graduate. Is that still something that you're working on?
Brad Ocker is going to be giving a presentation on basically 9 to 12. Our director is going to be giving a presentation at the first meeting on basically like their entry plan and what the priorities are. At a later date, Brad's going to be talking more about our academies. We have Mrs. Luffy and a team heading out to Ignite to look at the possibilities for what we're going to be doing 9 to 12 with our academies and directions. So stay tuned. Mr. Ocker will be, and probably Mrs. Luffy together will be doing a presentation on that, I guess sometime late November or December.
The reason I ask, I had a member of the public ask me about the requirement or lack thereof of a civics course. And I remembered that you talked about this portrait of a graduate in the past, and I thought, well, maybe that's where that will show up.
That also, we're looking at the graduation policy, and that's part of that policy as well. So that'll be part of the whole presentation package.
Yeah, one other item, so I've been reading several books on middle childhood and public schools or schools in general, and been a lot of discussion about mental health issues with these children. in particular the rise in anxiety and depression in young people. And I'd like to know if, when we get a presentation on all the professional development going on in the district, there may be some subject matter that might allow teachers to have some ways to identify people that are struggling in that regard. And maybe it's already being done, I just don't know about it. So I'd just be interested in that subject.
Okay. Any other thoughts or interests? All right. Information section, vacancy summary is attached, district enrollment summary is attached, and then LIU report. Ms. Harbaugh.
Well, I will echo what Tammy and Chris have said. As I told you guys before, the LIU, because the state budget has not been passed, got into an agreement with PNC Bank for a loan, which actually is acting as a line of credit. Because the budget hasn't been passed, they are going to be utilizing that to pay the September bills, which will incur interest because they're getting that. It's relatively manageable considering what they're asking for, but at the same time, it wouldn't be necessary if we had a budget. Also, and I don't know how many people know this, they had their federal monies approved, but because there's no state budget, they can't get their federal monies. So that's the way the world works, I guess, here. So it's very frustrating, I think, because there are a lot of good things that are going on with the new director out there. He's actually opening things up to focus on some things that they can be doing for the school districts. Some things that have come up and that we have talked about potentially are maybe having grant writing people that could help with things, maybe helping with different, I know he talks to the superintendents and, you know, Mr. Bigger could speak to that. He's pretty hands-on in asking them, what can we be doing to help you? What services can we be offering to you other than just the special education side? So Mr. Marchese's been in, Dr. Marchese's been in for a year now, and the way that he is moving with things and the way that he's spearheading things and really trying to get other streams of revenue coming into the LIU. It's really remarkable, and I think he's really gonna do a lot of good things out there. But again, to echo your sentiments, got to have that state budget passed because other people are starting to dig into coffers and having to get these loans and things of that nature, and it's going to be pretty problematic here within the next couple of months.
Thank you, Mrs. Harbaugh. And I think on Mrs. Stauffer's earlier report, the thought I had, but I'll share it again. I'll just share my thought now. You know, from a finance perspective in private industry, we call it cash is king. Don't ever underestimate the value of having cash. And I'm talking about our district bottom line. It's not a bad thing. Franklin Learning Center report. If you don't have a report, that's fine, but Mr. Hayduck or Mrs. Gauss, anything to report?
It's a little confusing insofar as, if I'm not mistaken, the last meeting that Mrs. Gauss and Dr. Diller and I attended was just a few weeks ago. And really, you have not received the official minutes yet on that meeting, correct?
I think are those the minutes?
This, from the September?
I can't see.
That's May, that's May.
May. So there was plenty of discussion about the fact that they were going to be no longer having a swimming pool there and creating additional classroom space. And there was also some discussion about the potential of Shippensburg School District entering into the consortium of the other schools that are now sending students there. That was all discussed, no decisions made. But, so I'll withhold any real decisions because that's what happened in September. So stay tuned, basically what the report is.
I just wanted to add, I was at that meeting as well, and you know, as far as the Franklin Learning Center and Shippensburg joining the consortium, there's still a lot of unknown factors that I discovered at that meeting. I think we need to have more of the numbers on finances, on what we're charging participating children, or participating districts and non-participating districts, sending their children there. And I just personally did not have a good handle on the finances, and I think that's something that really needs to be looked at, because I think we have like 48%? What is the number, that ownership of that building? And we send a very large number of students there. So we need to look at all angles, and two, with Shippensburg coming into the consortium, we're sending kids to other places when they fill up. So it's right in our backyard, so to me, it doesn't make sense to be sending kids somewhere else when we really have needs over there, and it's in our district. So a lot of unanswered questions, which has me kind of trying to figure out, because we have to look at what's best for all kids, but we also have to look at what's best for the district. So we'll stay tuned as the information starts to flow, but there's a lot on the finances that really needs looked at.
Okay. Thank you. Franklin County Career Tech, Mrs. Gogler.
Well, the Career Tech Center has finalized leadership changes with the hiring of Leslie Schumann as the director and Al Perillo as the assistant director, and I'm very excited about the future with the leadership and the experiences that both those people have outside of our wonderful career center, but bringing new thoughts and new ideas in always, in my opinion, is an advantage. And so I'm really looking forward to that. The two new programs, the instructors have been hired for protective services and the animal science program, and funding and plans for the curricula and so forth are in process.
Thought on that, and I should have brought this up in new business, but it just reminded me. I don't know if the board would be interested, maybe as a future committee of the whole presentation, ask Dr. Schumann to bring her team over and just give a presentation on basically, you know, where they are at Career Tech and where they're going. Mrs. Gogler mentioned the new programs. But I don't know if that's something board members may be interested in or not.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So, Chris, you can maybe work that out with, you know, we don't want to compress committee of the whole meeting, so there's no rush, but
I think
fit
Dr.
it in when you
Marchese's
think.
coming in October to present to the board, so we can start having short presentations from Leslie, or at least the director over there.
I mean, just like a once overview,
Yeah.
like a,
Mhm.
I don't know, sort of like almost an
And
annual
what is,
report.
Dr. Marchese's, is he coming here about the changes?
No, he's just coming here just to tell you what the IU does more than anything else,
Perfect.
less about the specific change.
Okay.
I think he wants to get out in front of schools.
Yeah, I think
The
it's,
previous
it's,
director necessarily
yeah.
didn't do that, and
I think it's a good
his
idea.
goal is to come and get to know you.
Sure, I think it's good.
Okay, and then 14.06, Chambersburg Area Education Foundation Annual Report is also attached. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.